Hello everyone, I hope you're fine. Today we are going to look at an activity. I have noticed that students sometimes get confused between margins and line spacing. So I'm just going to give a short explanation about that. Now this activity, staying connected, this paragraphs, I've taken it out of the MacMillan textbook for N4 Computer Practice, and then I just manipulated the document to suit our need. So let's get started. Our first instruction tells us, key in the following document as it appears below. So remember, this is the instructions, and this is the document that you have to key in. Then they tell us, insert a header with your examination number left and question 5A right. Edit the document according to the proofreading signs as indicated in the text. Now this is your proofreading signs. Number 4 tells you then the left-hand margin of the document must be 3,81 centimeter or 1.5 inches, depending on what you are using. And then just tells you to save the document as question 5A, and you will of course print it as well. There will be instruction to print as well. Now what I've done is I already keyed in the document for you just to save some time. Before we continue with the instructions, please remember when typing, it's just like when you are writing. You leave spaces between your words. Now you will see I've got this little dots for spaces, and this signs is for enter signs. Now I like to use this show hide icon. If I click on it, you see it's gone. When I click on it, it's back. Now this won't print, it's just guides to show you where's your spaces, where's your commas, your enters, breaks, and so forth. And then another thing I just want to put your attention to is, remember when you key in a word, you've got your punctuation, for example, comma, and then you put a space. Don't type the word space, comma. You don't write like that, so don't type like that. This instruction taught you to key in the following document as it appears. You've keyed that in. Don't put the proofreading signs as well, okay? Now it tells us number 2, insert the header with your examination number left and question 5A right. You can go to insert, you can go to header and footer. I normally like to double click in my header space, but let's use this option. And then I like to use the one saying edit header, because lots of times students forget to delete this type text. So I prefer edit header. So your examination number, and even though they don't tell you it, we also put our station number, and then it will be question in capital letters space 5A. You type it exactly as you see it. Okay, do you see they also said question, capital letters, space 5A on the right hand side. Okay, now number 3. Edit the document according to the proofreading signs as indicated in the text. Now here we see this NP and we see a bracket. Now this means new paragraph. Please don't place this bracket there. Now new paragraph means you wanted to go from one paragraph to the next one. So what do we do if we want to go from one paragraph to the next one? We enter 2 times. So let's see, fortunately, let's go to fortunately. Let me just close my header. So I just double click to remove my header, or you can just say close header and footer. So here at fortunately, they want you to make this a new paragraph. You click directly in front of the text and you just enter 2 times. Okay, do you see I've entered 2 times? 1, 2 times. It just must go to a next paragraph. Okay, then our next instruction, it tells us that this paragraph over here, it says it must be DS. Now DS stands for double line spacing. You can get 1.5 line spacing. Double line spacing is also 2. So let's quickly have a look at it. I'm going to go to my text. Now you see this enter sign? Do not include this enter sign because the rest of your text, if you should add something, you don't want it to be on double line spacing. I'm even going to put the extra enter sign just for in case. Going to highlight this paragraph. You have 2 options you can use. For example, here we've got the line and paragraph spacing icon. If I click on it, I have a 1.15. I have 1.5 line spacing, 2. Now 2 is double. Okay, this is one method. The other one is you can go to paragraph and then you can go to your line spacing. At the moment it's single. Then we've got 1.5, we've got double. Now what is your line spacing? Line spacing means the space between your lines. You see this gap? At the moment it is single. And now when I change it to double, when I click on it and I say OK, do you see my line spacing is big now, double line spacing. So that's your line spacing. Our next instruction tells us the left-hand margin of the document must be 3.81 centimeters or 1.5 inches. Now I'm using inches, so I'm going to use 1.5. Don't use something else that's not. If you are using centimeters, don't type 1.5. If you are using inches, don't use centimeters. Okay, so let's check it over here. Our margin. We can go here to our layout. And then there's margins. You have this option, margins. And then you can go to custom margins. This is one method. Slow computer. Okay, there it is. Another method is we can just directly go to page setup dialog box. It's just faster. Now you can see I'm using inches. I want to change my left margin. Now you can click up for 1.5 or you can just go type it in. Now on this computer my setting is a comma. Some of the settings will be a full stop. So on this one I'll put in 1.5 depending on your settings. Now what is the margin? This gap from where the paper starts to where you start keying in your document. This open space, this is your margin. So you've got a left margin, a top margin, a right hand margin, and you also have a bottom margin. So when we say 1.5, it means this space will increase. I'm going to say OK. And do you see I've got a bigger space now? Okay. And then we are done. It just tells you the very important instructions. Save the document as question 5A. So please make sure you save your work. You will say File, Save As, and you will go Browse. Browse. Where do I want to save it? Okay, in my ICP N4, I'm just going to save it over here as question 5A. I'm going to save it. You will see there it tells you it's saved, and then you will just print. I hope this made it a bit more understanding to you, the difference between a margin and line spaces. Remember, margin is this open space. The margin, you go to layout, you can go to margins, custom margin, or you say page setup, you change your margin. Line spacing is the space between your lines. You highlight the specific paragraph referred to, go to home, you go to either this little icon, your line and paragraph spacing, and you select, or you can go to paragraph and you go select line spacing and choose. Keep well, people. Goodbye.